Hello kids, welcome back to another episode of Scratch. I'm still your tutor, Ijoma. Okay, today we'll be looking at creating simple game in Scratch, right? We have already created about 3 games. The first game is our math quiz game. The second game, the Hungry Hunter. The third game is our rain catch, right? So today, let's create a falling star game. Okay, the name of our game is called Falling Star. Okay, and the game description is we are going to create this game using stars and we'll be drawing our own backdrop, right? So we'll have to catch this game with a sprite named Ball, right? We'll catch the game to end points, and we're also going to add some obstacle that will deduct our mark. Okay, we'll also add some things to make our game fun. Okay, now let's continue. We'll be making use of 2 sprites, star and ball, to create this game. I'll be drawing a backdrop, night view backdrop. Okay, in our paint area, we'll program it to play with our keyboard arrow keys. Okay, we'll be using our keyboard, our left and right keyboard arrow key. Okay, we're not using the 4, we're using only 2 this time around. Okay, you use the ball to catch stars and end points, right? Here are the steps we'll be taking. We'll go to our sprite library and we'll choose our star, right? Then we'll head on to our sprite library again and choose our ball. Then the next thing we'll do is to go to our paint. All right, you hover on your backdrop icon and then you choose paint. Okay, when you get to our paint area, we'll draw a night view backdrop just as the one you're seeing on my screen. Okay, so after that we'll code for our ball first. Okay, so here are the codes we'll be using for our ball. When green flag is clicked, then go to X and Y block. When space key is pressed, of course we'll change it to our right arrow key, right? We're not using the space key for this project. And the next one we'll be using is change X by 10. Then when left arrow key is clicked again, change X by -10. After that, you head on to code for our star. Okay, the first block we'll be using for our star is when green flag is clicked. The second one is set my variable to. Third one is go to random position. The next one is change X by 10 block. Next one is our forever loop. The next one is change Y by 10. Next one is our if then. Okay, the next one is touching mouse pointer. Next one is play sound effects, collect, but we're not using collect for this particular one. We're going to use chomp. Then the next block we'll be using is change my variable to. We must have created a variable and name it score, right, before we start our project. And the next block we'll be using is point towards mouse pointer. The next one is set Y to 20. That's a whole lot of block, right? And we're not done yet. The next block we'll be using is our if then loop. The next one is our greater than. Okay, next block we'll be using is Y position. Our next block is go to random position. Our next block is set Y to, and then we head on to duplicate. Okay, we're going to duplicate our star to get more than 1 star, right? So we'll duplicate the first one and we are going to add a color effect to it, right, to make it the superstar. Okay, so whenever you catch that superstar, you're going to earn extra points, right? Then we're going to change the variable to change my score to 10. All right, so after that we're still going to create a monster star. Okay, this monster star, you have to avoid it while playing your game, because once it touches your ball, it's going to subtract all your marks, all your points. Okay, and you have nothing. So once this particular monster star touches your ball, it will set your score to 0 automatically, and I know you don't want that, right? So we are going to add it. okay, to make your game more fun and interactive to play. Okay, then we're also going to duplicate more, okay, to have multiple stars falling in our game, right? So now we'll head on to our Scratch. Okay, let's head on to our Scratch app to do it together, right? So here we have our cat. Okay, so we'll go on and delete our cat. Let's add our cat to our trash. All right, yes, okay. So now we're going to click on our sprite icon and we search for star. Click here, and of course we'll look for our star. All right, our star is right here waiting for us. So we go on and click on it. All right, I click on it and our star is right here. Okay, so now we want to do another thing, right? We'll click on our bowl and then we'll look for, click on our sprites library and then we'll look for bowl. All right, it's right here. Let's click on it. But then our bowl have brown color. I don't like this brown color for this project, so I want to change the color of my bowl, right? And to do that, I will have to click on bowl, then go to my costumes. You see my costume tab on top of my block palette. I'll click on it, and then our ball is right here in our paint area. Okay, so I'll go on and I'll click on my select, and then I'll highlight my ball, right? So whenever you want to change the color of something of your paint, you have to pick your select and then you highlight it before you go to the color. Okay, then now you go to our fill, right? Click on our fill. Let's give this a blue color. All right, blue color is okay. It's looking more beautiful now, right? Yeah, the color is quite captivating. So let's return to our code and voila. Can you see? Our ball is now blue. So it's time to get our backdrop, right? And I said we're going to draw a backdrop. This time around, we are not choosing any of the backdrop in our backdrop library. So go on and click on our hover. Okay, we're not clicking because we don't want to choose. Okay, hover on your backdrop icon and then you choose your paint. All right, we're here in our paint area again. Now I'll go on and minimize my stage so you see what I'm about to draw. Okay, because I have a smaller screen. Now I will choose my rectangle tool. Okay, I'll click on it. I've selected it. I'll go on and draw a rectangle. Use the rectangle to cover your stage, right? Just the way I'm doing. Here's my stage. Okay, here's my stage. So now it's blue. Our ball is now hiding there, so we don't want to use this blue color, right? So we'll go on and we'll change it. We want to draw a night view backdrop, right? So you click on your fill. Our paint is already highlighted, so now you go on and click on black. That's it. Wow, that's our night view. It's already coming out. Okay, so now we need to get a moon, right, to make it look so real. Okay, let's get a moon. Get your circle. Okay, so we have to change the color before drawing because it's black, and if you draw with this particular black color, since our backdrop is already black, this thing is not going to be visible, right? So let's go on, click on it, and then get me your white color. Before you do that, you drag your brightness to this point 100% and make sure your saturation is 100%, so you can see the whole color, and then you choose the one you want. But for me, now I want to use white. Okay, your moon is mostly white in color, right? Yes, it is. So click here. All right, you go on and you draw me a circle, a tiny baby circle like this. Don't make the circle too wide so you don't look obvious. Okay, now we're going to get our road, right? This is similar to our lesson 1, right, where I show you guys how you can draw your backdrop. Okay, we are drawing something like that, but this time around we are drawing a tree. Okay, we don't want to add a tree, so our stage will be free for our stars to fall, right? So now we've gotten our moon, right? We want to get our road, and we're going to achieve that by clicking on our rectangle 2. Click on your rectangle 2, and let's head on to our color, or we can just draw and then move on to change the color. So go on home to the down part of your stage of your drawing and draw me this. All right, this is what I want you to draw for me. Now it's already highlighted. Let's move on to our fill. Click right there. Okay, and then we want to change the color to gray. It's night, right? Let's change it to gray. Our road is mostly black because our backdrop is already black. So if you do black, it's not going to make any sense, right? So let's make it gray. Now it's looking beautiful. Okay, I think this will do. We don't need too much. Don't need too much on our backdrop. This will do, right? So let's go back to our code and begin. So now I'm going to set my ball right here. Okay, place it in the middle. Okay, the bottom middle of your stage, right? And now we'll head on and code for our ball. So let's go to our block palette area, and then you click on your events, get me when green flag is clicked. You drag and drop it in the script area, and then you go to your motion. Okay, and then you get me your go to. Okay, you want it to remain here, this position. Anytime we click on the green flag, you want it to be here. And you know the block can use to achieve it, right? We've used this block multiple times in our previous classes, so I believe you're familiar with it now. Let's head on and get our go-to block. You drag it and you drop it under your when green flag is click block. Okay, yeah, this is it. Okay, now we'll go to our events again, and then you get me your when space key is clicked, drag and drop. Okay, and then we're going to change it to right. When right arrow key is pressed, we want something to happen, right? We want our sprite, our ball, to move to the right. Okay, so to achieve that, we'll go to our motions and we'll get change x by. Change x by, where are you? Is right here. Change x by 10. Okay, now I want to test. Remember, I say when you are programming, you test your project to see what you're doing. Okay, so if you're making any mistake, you can correct it on time. So let's do that. I'll go on and click on my green flag. Let's press our right arrow. You see my ball is moving to the right, right? It's moving to the right because I'm pressing my keyboard right arrow key. Your keyboard, your laptop or your PC keyboard. Okay, now we need to program for the left. Remember I said we'll be using our left and our right arrow key, right? So it's time for us to code for the left. So we'll get the same block again, or we can go on and duplicate. Why can't we duplicate? We can, right? We already know how to duplicate. If you don't, you look at my screen and see what I'm doing. You place your mouse here, and then you right click. Then you get this tree option. You go on and choose your duplicate, and then it's duplicated. Not difficult, right? Not difficult. So come down here, you click on your right arrow. You see the drop down beside your right arrow. You click on it, and then you choose your left arrow is right there, and you have all the buttons on your keyboard. Okay, but we want to use the left arrow now. So here's our left arrow. And now we're going to change this 10 to a -10. Remember your X and Y coordinates, right? We have the positive and the negative side, where the right hand side is the positive side and the left hand side is the negative side. Okay, so we go on and we add a negative sign to our 10. Okay, you add a negative sign to your 10, and then we'll click on our green flag and see. You see, my left arrow is moving and my right arrow is moving. You see, both of them is working. So it will enable us catch our stars when it's falling. We can just move to the right to grab the star, move to the left to grab the star, right? While trying to avoid our obstacles. Okay, so now we're done coding for the ball. We'll move on to our star. All right, so now it's time to code for our star, and I know you are fully ready for it, so let's move on. Remember, I say when you want to code for a particular sprite, you click on it before you start coding, so you don't code the wrong sprite. Okay, let's click on it. That's it. Now we'll go to our event block, and we're going to use when green flag is clicked this time again. Drop it in your script area, and you get me your variable block that will lead us to, we're here in our variables, right? You come to this box, make a variable. You click there, and then you type in score. Okay, we want to get a variable named score, right? Is right here. You click on OK. That's it. We already have our score variable here. Okay, now we're going to get our set score. Set my variable to 0, and you go on, you click on the down arrow, and you change it to score. Okay, when green flag is clicked, set score to 0. All right, now you head on to your motion, and then you get me your go to. But this time around, we're using our go to random position. Okay, we want our star to go to random position when the green flag is clicked. So we'll go on and we'll get our random position block. Get it for me and place it under your variable block. Okay, now the next block we'll be using is set Y to 180. So let's go to our motion, scroll down, set Y, right? Set Y to 180. And we'll change this to 180. Okay, type in 180 for me there. Now the next block we'll be using is our forever. You all are familiar with our forever loop by now. Okay, then you drag it and you drop. Now the next block we'll be using is change Y by -5. Okay, this is going to be the speed of our star when it will be falling down. Okay, we want our star to fall down, right? And we want it to fall down with the speed of -5. Okay, so we use this block to control the speed of this game. Okay, so you get me your change Y by -5. Go to your motion and look for change Y block. Okay, our change Y is right here. You drag it and you drop it inside your forever loop, and then you go on, delete this 10 and give me -5. Type in -5 for me. That's what I want, right? Now let's see. Ooh, voila. Okay, our star is falling anytime we click on our green flag, but we need to add more actions, right? We don't just want it to be falling like that, right? We want to add some actions, and we can't keep clicking on our green flag. We want our game to run continuously once we click on the green flag, right? So let's keep coding. Now we get our if then loop. You know the function of our if then loop, right? Then you place it inside your forever. Okay, place it inside your forever loop, and then we want something to happen, right? If then, okay, let's go to our sensing. We want this star. If then touching this ball, we want something to happen, right? So you get your touching block for me, and you place it on top of your if then loop, not inside. All right, submerged. Now you go on and you click on this arrow down beside your mouse pointer, right? And then you change it to ball. Okay, if the star is touching the ball, what should happen? Okay, we want it to play a sound for us, and the sound we want it to play is a chomp sound. You remember, right? We talked about it in our slide. So now we head on to our sounds. Okay, and we get the sound block. Play sound until done. But here we have our collect sound. The collect sound is the sound we used in our game, right? We used it yesterday in our game. We don't want to use it today again. Okay, we want to use a chomp sound. That will make more sense. All right, so let's head on to our sound. Okay, here is your sound tab on top of your block palette where my mouse is hovering. Okay, you click on your sounds, then you come down to this place, your sound icon, you click on it, and you get me a chomp sound. You know we have a lot of sounds in our sound library, so we can't go on and keep searching for this particular sound, right? So we can just click in our search bar, and then you type chomp. All right, before we finish typing, it's already here. Can you see? Can you hear that sound? Okay, that's what we want, right? Let's choose it. Okay, it's selected already, so we should find it here in our drop down, right? So click on your drop down and change this collect sound to chomp. That's right, we have our chomp now, right? So we want it once this our star touches our ball. Okay, we want something to happen, right? Okay, we want it to change our score, so we go to our variables. Okay, change my variable by 1. All right, so you click here on this arrow down beside my variable, because we want to change my variable to score. Okay, if touching ball, then play sound chomp until done, and change my score by 1. Let's see if it's going to happen. Let's click on it. Let's try to catch the star. You hear that? But I don't like the continuous chomp 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 sound it's giving us. I just want it to say chomp, and then it's either go back to the top or it disappears, right? So let's add more things to it. Okay, once it's touching the ball, we want it to go back to the top. Okay, and the top position, of course, is the go to random position and set Y to 180. Okay, we are not cloning here. Our previous game of the range job, we cloned, right? So we're not using clone. This time around, we're using go to random position, and we're sending it back to the top instead of disappearing or making a clone of yourself, right? So now we're going to go back to our motion, and then you get me this particular block again. Go to random position, and then you place it inside this block, inside your if then loop. Okay, and then you get me this particular block again, set Y to 180. Okay, scroll down and look for your set Y. Where is it? It's right here, right? Set Y to 180. Place it here, and then you go on and delete this minus 115 that is there and give me a 180. Okay, now let's see if it's going to work. Oh, try to grab it. Okay, it went back. Woo! We lost the star. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, let's get it. Woo! All right, we got it and it went up. Okay, that's what we programmed it to do, right? So we need more action. We want something to happen when this star passes this place, when it crosses this particular line, right? This our road. Once it gets to this point, we want it to bounce up to the top. Okay, then if our ball is not grabbing it, it should also go back to the top, right? So now let's go on. I will have to minimize my screen because my code is getting much. Okay, and I want you to see the whole thing I'm doing without missing a part, right? So now we'll go and get our if then. Get me your if then loop. Okay, go to your controls and get me your if then loop. It's right here, right? Get it and place it under the first if then loop, not inside. Can you see where I'm placing mine? Place it inside. Okay, don't place it inside the forever loop, under the first if then loop. All right, that's it. So now we'll head on to get our greater than sign, right? Go to your operators, okay, and get me your greater than block. Is right here. Drag it and drop it on top of this second if then loop, right? Okay, now we are going to change this score to this 50. We are going to change it to minus 170. So head on and delete it and type in minus 170. Okay, my minus is not there, so let me try to place it up. All right, I've gotten it. Okay, now we want something to happen when y position is less than minus 170, which is this particular position. Once it crosses this part, it should bounce up. Okay, it should go back to the beginning, right? So let's get our y position block. Go to your motion, scroll down a little bit, get me your y position block and place it right here where I'm placing mine. Okay, now it have merged. Okay, if y position is less than minus 170, then do something for us. Then go back to your initial position and start all over again. Okay, so to get that again, we are going to use these two blocks. Go to random position and set y to 180, which is the initial top position. Okay, so now go back to our motions. Okay, and then you get me your go to random position block, drop it inside the if then loop. You go to set y to right. Let's look for our set y to block. It's right here. Set y to, drag the block and drop it here. Okay, set y to 180. So go on and delete. Okay, let's delete everything inside this block and type in our 180. All right, so now let's play. All right, you see that it's going up once it's got to that position, and when I catch a star, it adds a point to my points. Can you see that? It's adding points to my points. Now we are done with the first phase, right? It's time to duplicate. Okay, so you come down here to your sprite area where my mouse is hovering. That's your sprite area. Okay, now we want to duplicate our star, not the ball. So you place your mouse on your star and then you right click for me. Okay, when you right click, you get three options, which is the duplicate, export, and the delete. We don't want to export, neither do we want to delete. So we want to duplicate. You head on and click on your duplicate for me. That's it. Our star have been duplicated. Okay, and it got duplicated with the exact code. Okay, so that's one good thing about duplicating. Now we don't have to start coding again because we have duplicated the initial code and everything got duplicated together, both the sprites and the codes. Okay, so now we just need to make some mini changes. Okay, now let's head on. Okay, we want this to be our superstar, right? And our superstar is going to add more scores to us. Okay, let's click on our red button to stop our project from running so we can do what we want to do, right? In our first star, we programmed it to add one score to our variable anytime we catch a star. Okay, so this time around we're going to make this particular star a superstar by adding a color effect to it. So when it's falling, it will be dimming color. Okay, to be dimming color for us. That's how you know your superstar when it's falling, and then you rush to grab it because it's going to add extra points to your points. Okay, we're going to make it to be 10 points. Okay, you can decide to make yours 5, but I think 10 is okay. So whenever you catch a superstar, you are earning extra 10 points instead of your normal 1. Okay, your yellow star will be giving you just 1 score. Now we'll go on and we'll get our change effect block. You can find it in your looks. Okay, yeah, there we go. Change color effect by 25. That's it. Get this block for me and drop it inside your, where are we dropping it? Inside your if then. Your first if then. No, let's drop it in our forever. Drop it in our forever so it will forever dim. Okay, if you drop it inside our if then, it's only going to dim when it touches the ball, and we don't want that. We want it to start dimming from the top. Okay, so we'll notice when our superstar is falling and then we'll grab it, right? And we want to add another thing. Okay, we want our superstar to fall faster. Okay, we want it to fall faster than other stars. So whenever you see it, you leave other stars and you chase after it right before it goes off the screen. So now we'll come to our change y by -5. That's our speed, right? You click there and make it -6. -6. I think -6 will make our superstar faster. Let's see if our superstar is dimming. Woo! That's our superstar dimming. Can you see that? Okay, can you see our superstar? So now we want to do something. We have to make our superstar give us 10 score anytime we grab it, right? So let's go on to our change score by 1 and change it to change score by 10. That's it. Now let's see. Get me the superstar. Where is this falling so fast? All right, you see that? You gave me extra point. Let me get it again. Let me get it again. You see? I think this game is so fun. I'm enjoying it. All right, let's continue. Is it falling faster than the other star? Can you see that? Now we'll click on our red button and we continue. Okay, so we're done programming for our superstar. Now we need to add more actions. Okay, it's time to create our monster star. That's going to be the villain in our game. Okay, this star is going to be the villain. All right, and we are going to change the color to red and black. So anytime you see the red and black star, which is our monster star, you flee from it, you avoid it. Okay, but if you don't avoid it, it's going to set your whole score to 0, and you don't want to lose your score, right? So let's get it. Now we have to duplicate our star again. Let's duplicate the first star because we have already coded for the second star, right? Click on our first star and then we'll duplicate. Wonderful. We have 3 stars now. Now we have to go to our paint area. Okay, let's go to our paint area and then we'll get something. Okay, go to our paint area. Where is our paint area? Is right here, your costume. Click on your costume, then here is the star. Okay, let's change the color of this star. Get me your select tool. Click on your select tool and then click on the star. Then you head on to your fill, that's your color, and change it to black. No, let's change the body to red since our backdrop is black, okay? Let's get red. That's our red color, okay? And this white, we want to change it to black. That's it. Our red and black. So anytime you see this color, you run. You run. Now let's go back to our code. And I will have to get my, we have to code, right? So if touching borrow, we want it to set our score to 0. So we are going to remove this particular block. Okay. We are removing this particular block. And we'll go to our variable and get our set to 0 block. Get it. And you place it here. Okay. Set my variable to, change this my variable. Click on this arrow down. Change it to score. Okay, when it touches the ball, it should change my score to 0. Let's see. You see, we just lost our score 0 again. Let's try to get the monster. Oh, just got the, you see what the monster star is doing to our score. You see that? Okay, now they want to do something again. Okay, what if we look for a sound? So whenever it touches the red color star, that's our monster star, is going to give us a different sound. So we know we have lost some score, right? So let's go to our sound. Which sound is going to be best for this? I don't know. Should we use the bonk sound? Okay, I think the electric bars will do. What about, let's look for bonk. Or byung. We have byung. Okay. Let's use the big boing. Let's use the big boing. So the toying sound that is giving us. Whenever you hear the toying sound, just know that I've lost your skull. Okay? It's over. You've lost it. So now we are going to change this score. This is our chomp. Change it to big boing. So now we'll play again and see if you are going to hear that sound. Okay? Now let's do this. Click on your green flag. You heard that? You see? So now we also need to, let's add another sound to our superstar. Okay, so whenever you get to the superstar, it's going to give us a different catch. It's going to give us a different sound. Then you know you have just earned yourself extra scores, right? So let's go to our sound and search for. But before that, we click on our, there's our superstar. Our superstar is our star too. Let's name it superstar so we know the particular star we're talking about. Come to your sprite right here under your stage and then you type in superstar, right? Superstar. What are we typing? That's it. So then you rename your star tree, which is your monster star, and you name it monster star. Monster monster star. That's it. Monster star, superstar. Okay, so that's it. So now we'll click on our superstar. Let's look for a nice sound. You go to your sound, click on this. Which sound are we going to get now? That would be nice. Don't know of any. Don't really know the sound we can use. Joy. Do we have anything like joy? Let's just use it that way. Let's let's use our normal Trump sound, okay? The Trump sound will do. So we'll head on and duplicate more stars. Okay, so we'll have multiple stars in our game. Go to your code and let's duplicate. Okay, we are going to duplicate more of this our first star. Let's make it 3. Why we have our monster star and our superstar. Okay, duplicate and duplicate. There we go, we'll have 5 stars. Now let's play. You see? Ooh, I don't want to touch the monster. Alright, that's it. Okay, and this is the end of our class for today. I hope you enjoyed this particular game that we created. Me too, I enjoy creating this game. So, and I'm doing it just for you, right? Okay, so I'll see you in our next class. Keep scratching and bye for now.